Hi guys, welcome back to Adrenal Repair. So today I'm going to follow up on my last video that I put up a while back, Depersonalization Explained. If you haven't watched that video yet, please go back, check that out before you move on to this video, okay? This video is just going to continue on from where I left off, so you might be a little bit lost as well. But not only that, it's just really important to understand why we experience depersonalization. Okay, so I mentioned at the end of the last video about creating a stress buffer, okay, to face your recovery. We have to move back along that track that your nervous system kind of brings you through, that journey that it takes you through, going from the panic attack to when it crashes and DP kicks in. But usually when we're in that DP state, we have no motivation, we've no drive, and that's pretty much because your system's burnt out and it's tired and fatigued. So our goal is to try and eliminate as much stress as we can so those adrenals can repair, because it's those adrenals that release the stress hormone, okay, to deal with stress. So we need to try and release as much stress as we can, and it might be hard to get rid of the mental emotional stress or eliminate some of this worry that we have, but there's other stresses that we can focus on, because at the end of the day, stress all accumulates, okay? So we're going to be looking at the different types of stresses and how do we approach eliminating and creating that little buffer, or as much of a buffer as possible. So first off, we mentioned about the 3 different types of stresses. So you got your mental emotional stress, that's all your anxiety and all your worry, and if there's relationship stress, financial stress, all that stuff. Then you got structural stress, so any trauma to the body, any injuries, again, that's all going to accumulate. And then you got chemical stress, so that's like the toxins that we're breathing in, some of the foods that we're eating are just riddled with chemicals, even the medication we're taking as well, that's going to be causing more internal stress. So again, all this accumulates. So what happens when the body experiences stress? It releases the stress hormone cortisol. Now cortisol has 3 major roles, okay? It's the most powerful anti-inflammatory in the body. So any inflammation, again, this goes back to the structural and chemical stress. So any injuries to the body, any trauma to the body causes inflammation. What happens, the body will release cortisol to bring the inflammation down so it can start the healing process. Okay, same with the chemical stresses. We're breathing in toxins, we're eating foods that are full of chemicals if we're not eating organic foods. Again, this causes stress, irritates the gut gets inflamed. Again, cortisol is released, okay? Okay, so next one's that flight or fight that we spoke about in the last video. So this is the body's mechanism of getting you out of trouble. It's the survival mechanism. What happens is cortisol is released into the bloodstream when it feels under threat, and it's converted into glucose to give you energy, the sugar into the bloodstream for instant fuel to get out of trouble. Now the mental emotional stress is what triggers this. This is a big one now for people dealing with panic attacks and then depersonalization. We're keeping this turned on with the mental emotional stress, okay? And then the last one is it regulates your blood sugar. So if you've got a poor diet, eating a lot of sugary foods, what happens is your sugar levels will spike really high, and then what will happen is they'll drop, okay, really low. So then when you get too low, the body needs to bring the sugar levels back up. So what happens is cortisol can be converted into glucose, so it calls upon the adrenals to release more cortisol just to bring it back up to normal. So if you're eating a lot of sugary foods, there's a lot of sugar in your diet, you're going to be getting this drop the whole time that the cortisol has to keep bumping it back up again. Alright, so we want to slow down the production of cortisol so that your adrenals can relax. That's the goal, okay? So we want to try and eliminate as much of these stresses as possible. Okay. So this is a stress bucket. So if you want to imagine that we all have this stress bucket, okay, that all the stresses go in because stress accumulates. And everybody has a different size bucket, okay? We've got different genetics, different genetic potentials. Some people have great genes for dealing with stress. They're the type of people that live well into the 90s, they drink and smoke every day, and they've just no issues whatsoever, okay? Others were not so fortunate, okay, to deal, like we find a hard time dealing with stress. So our goal is to try and eliminate as much stress going into that bucket, okay? If you're dealing with panic attacks and depersonalization, guarantee that this bucket is overspilling, okay? And most likely those adrenal glands are burnt out and they're tired and they actually are struggling to make cortisol. And when the body starts struggling to make cortisol, what happens is inflammation starts developing around the body. Pains, aches and pains start showing up. The immune system gets compromised. People start getting flus very easy, getting sick very easy. And this is just opens the door for like a host of other issues. Even just affecting every cell in your body pretty much, okay? So, going back to saying, okay, those adrenal glands most likely are going to be tired and burnt out. So we need to try and eliminate what we can and try and let those adrenals repair, so then you can face your recovery, because it's going to be very hard to face your recovery when those adrenals can't release any more stress hormone, because it's stressful trying to recover. You're getting out of your comfort zone, okay? So let's look at the different stresses. So you got the mental emotional stress, okay? So you can sit down, write down all the stuff you worry about, what might be causing your stress, other than just worrying about panic attacks and that. You might have some financial stress, or your home environment might be stressful, and just see what you can do to start eliminate what you can around this, the mental emotional stress. Okay, structural stress. Do you have any injuries in your body? Okay, weak muscles is another big one. Okay, so you want to start. If you're not exercising, I highly recommend it. I don't recommend doing any high intensity work, especially dealing with DPDR and panic attacks. I'm going to talk about that again in another video, but definitely working on creating structural balance. Okay, if you can afford a personal trainer, great. You can, if you know what you're doing, awesome. If not, if you have a friend who knows what they're doing, or if you can just do some research and try and learn, like or get your hands on a well-designed program that focuses on structural balance. That's going to be very important, because like weak muscles, again, is going to cause inflammation, injuries. Bad posture is another big one. So yeah, working on the posture, and a good strength program should help fix that. So the last one is chemical stresses. So these are the hidden stresses. These can be a little bit trickier, okay, to identify and eliminate. This here, there's a lot we can do ourselves, but the internal stresses can just be a little bit more trickier. The protocol that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute will identify this and will help clear up anything that we got going on in here. But the best approach here is functional lab work, okay? So if you know of a naturopath, you can hit the naturopath up to run some lab work. I also run labs with my clients and do protocols to repair the adrenals. If you have any questions on that, feel free to hit me up. But anyway, yeah, we want to try and eliminate as much of these internal stresses, okay? Food sensitivities, it could be certain foods that you're eating and you don't even realize it, and it could be causing inflammation. You can run a food sensitivity test to find exactly what foods are reactive to you and which ones aren't, okay? So the goal would be just to take out all the reactive foods and just stick to the foods that don't cause any issues. Okay, so the body can start that healing process. The lab work isn't cheap, so there is ways around it. Like for an example, an elimination diet is one way of eliminating these food sensitivities. So the way you go about that is eliminate some food, a piece of food that you eat very often. Maybe take it out for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. Okay, if you feel like, oh, geez, a bit of inflammation's gone down, I'm feeling a little bit better, a little bit more energy, okay, that might be a food that is reactive to you, and maybe taking that out of your diet is going to help speed up this process. Toxins, medication, I'm saying these can all cause more stresses. Alright, so all these guys go in to the stress bucket. Okay, if this is overspilling, our goal is to try and create a little bit of a buffer, because we want to be able to face a recovery, and facing your recovery is going to be stressful. Alright, so how do you go about doing that? ME, mental emotional stress. So that could be talk therapy. If you dealt with a lot of trauma in your life, it could be SE therapy, which is somatic experience. That's supposed to be very effective. Or EMDR. Okay, financial stress might be just you got to manage your finances better. Okay, relationships. So structural stress, that could be going to a physiotherapist or a chiropractor or personal trainer. Get yourself on a good strength program, okay? And then chemical stress is just eating clean food is the main one here, and getting good sleep, drinking plenty of water, and then yeah, if you can afford it, I highly recommend running some lab work. All right, so this is the protocol. It's DRESS. Okay, we say dress for health and success. DRESS is an acronym for diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplements. Okay, so it's good to remember DRESS, DRESS. Anytime you feel like you're just falling off track and you're going through a bit of a bad patch, go back to each one of these, go to DRESS and just see which one might be falling behind. Okay, so diet, just eat real food. Keep it organic, keep it clean, and don't be adding to the chemical stress. Okay, no processed food, no foods with chemicals in it. Clean it out completely and just eat real food. Keep it simple. Next one is rest. Okay, rest is just sleep. I'm going to do a video, by the way, on each one of these and just go into more detail into the protocol. Okay, but just really quick today. Next one is rest. Say 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night is what is needed for the body to repair properly. The diet is giving the body the nutrients to repair, and then when you're sleeping, that's when the body is repairing. Okay. Exercise. Okay, this is a tricky one. A lot of people try and they hear exercise is good for you, it's good for stress, but if your stress bucket is maxed out, this is causing stress to the body. Okay, so it's going to make matters worse. That's why some people say that they feel worse after exercise. So a bit of strength training, nothing too intense for structural balance, definitely I'd recommend. You want to stay away from any of these high intensity interval workouts or CrossFit style workouts. Okay, there's a time and place for that stuff, but not when you're dealing with like the panic disorder and DPDR. Okay, stress management is the next one. So like some Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga are great here. Lots of movement meditation. The way I look at this is the exercise is walking out, and then Qigong and yoga is like walking in. You're bringing energy into the body, okay? That's another, I say the Qigong and Tai Chi is definitely worth looking into and maybe giving it a go. And then supplements is the last one. So supplements, people are always looking for what's the best supplement, what should I be taking? And until all this is in line, the supplements aren't going to do much, okay? These just help the process and speed up the process as long as everything else is in line. Okay, and just a couple of supplements that I would recommend you checking in or looking into getting would be a good adrenal support. So call into your local health food shop, have a chat with them about adrenal support. Ashwagandha root, I know, is a very good adrenal support. Vitamin C as well, and a lot of these have the adrenal supports usually have a mixture of all these different herbs, and you have your vitamin C usually in there as well. Magnesium is another big one for people dealing with stress, help calm the body down. And vitamin D, you know, there's a few that we could go out. Said again, I'm going to be doing a video on each one of these, and I'll go into more detail. But don't get caught up in the supplements. This is the diet, sleep, exercise, stress reduction. These guys are paramount, okay? Alright guys, so that's it. Thanks for listening. Hopefully it made sense. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the next video out, okay? Cheers guys.